Not yet. Oh, I got a countdown, right?
We live. You on, baby.
What's good, folks? Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Cayman. We sitting here with a small panel today out here at Gwen Oak Park. Wishing everybody out there was here with us, but since y'all not, we're gonna bring it to y'all live. So today we're gonna talk about a few more things of the current events that's going on across the globe, touching us right here in our own backyard. I got a couple of business owners and a few prominent people here on this panel today, and I'm gonna let them get their opinions and their views on what they feel and tell us if and how they have been affected by anything such as this. Have they ever been through any type of police brutality, any type of mischief, any type of misconduct, anything of that nature? So we're gonna start on the end to my left, and I'm gonna let them all introduce themselves to you and tell you who they are, and what they do, and whatever else they want to tell you. Let's start on the left.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Alfonso Mayo, but my friends call me Mayo, so please call me Mayo. I am the founder and servant leader of Mentor and Mentors Inc., which is a nonprofit mentoring program here where we teach intergenerational mentoring to young men and young women. Everything we do is about interconnectedness. I feel that there's a disconnect within our community, so it's my way of pouring into youth. I'm a father of 5, I'm married, and I'm a Baltimore native, so yeah.
Okay.
That's what's up. What's up, everybody? I'm Rob Levine, founder and executive director for Beyond the Natural Foundation. We're a nonprofit organization created to empower the youth of our communities through music. I'm Baltimore born and raised, and it's always been my passion to give back my life experiences as a musician, songwriter, and producer. So, this is how we give youth positive ways to express themselves and removing the barriers and providing kids with access to music arts enrichment programming.
Okay. Mo.
How you doing, everybody? I'm Maurice Johnson. Everybody call me Mo. I'm a private detective for the state of Maryland. Also founder and owner of the Kingsman Cigar. Originally from New York, but been in the Baltimore area since 2003. And I'm just here to give my point of view on all the current events that's happening in the world and smoke a good stick.
Hey, what's up, good people? Demel Brunson here, founder and president, LTYC, Leaders of Tomorrow Youth Center. We're a 501c3 nonprofit, arts education, theater, dance, music, visual arts, creative writing. We're trying to inspire the youth here in Baltimore, in Maryland, and D.C. Thankful to be here with you guys.
Thanks for being here with us, man. Appreciate having all y'all here, man. And again, on this platform, man, I'm hoping that you all get the opportunity to the best and to the fullest effect to express yourselves and what you feel in these situations. So we're gonna start it off. Right now we got a lot of things going on within the city, man, where we have rioters, we have protesters, we have, we got these different things going on right in our backyard. And I want to know, first of all, how you feel, Mayo? How do you feel about the state of the way the problems are being approached with the protesting, with some of the rioting that's going on? A few things. Is it necessary? Is it not necessary? Is some of it necessary? Like, how has it affected you? What you think about that?
Oh yeah, so, and I'm just going to be completely honest and vulnerable. I feel comfortable because I'm around my brothers, my people. But the truth is, when I think about the rioting, do I think it's necessary? I do. Because I think what it allows the world to see is that people are tired. Now, do I think it's effective? No. Because what happens is, you riot a little bit, you have a little bit of momentum, and the people who are not affected by these heinous acts or these injustices of the world, they're just sitting back, they're home, they're comfortable, they're on a golf course, right? They're chilling. And so they just kind of wait for your wave to go by, and then it's back to business as usual.
Right.
And so for me, it's like, besides the rioting, we really have to start focusing on like policies and laws. Like, we have to start doing our due diligence, because technically the laws is what hold us back, right? Like, that gives them grounds to continue to do what they do.
Right.
As an officer of the law, it's their job to uphold the law, and even when they do wrong, it's almost like a us versus them mentality, because the law is on their side.
Right.
So that's how you can, hurt somebody that look like you or I, whether it's an older or a younger person, and you get leave. Like all of us would like to be on leave and vacation where we can spend more time chilling, right? After we done something wrong, right? And so until we start addressing the policies, the procedures, the laws, and representation in leadership across the country, it's not just here in Baltimore, but across the country, we're going to continue to see the same thing. I do respect those who are protesting, because that take a lot of grit, right? But we gotta be strategic. It gotta be more than just a march. We've marched for years, right?
Exactly.
It gotta be more than just a march. Right. And then with the looting, I never will appreciate that, right? Because you're destroying your own, right? That's like going home, getting drunk, busting up all your stuff, and then in the morning complaining like, hey, who gonna pay for it?
Right.
No, you gonna pay for
Clean
it.
this up.
Yeah, so I think it is needed, but it has to be planned out in a strategic way. We really got to start to affect those who are the power, the evil forces of the world. We got to call them out. I don't care if they white, black, or whatever they may be.
Held accountable.
They got to be held accountable. They got to be held accountable. So,
okay, that's what's up, man. Great question, man. I agree with what you're saying, Mayo, and I'm gonna take it in a slightly different direction. For me, what I feel like what's going on in everything that's going on in the world. Obviously, we all know it's not new, right? This has been going on since our existence in this country, as African Americans. So I want to take this thing as, obviously, police brutality is wrong. Shouldn't exist, right? Absolutely. But I want to also talk about brutality amongst African Americans. Because in our communities, we kill each other every single day, and nobody's protesting. Nobody's making any noise about that, because we've grown conditioned to that being okay.
Right.
Last year, I had a brother put a gun in my face. He looked like me. Feel me? It wasn't a cop. It wasn't a white guy. So my thing is, let's self-actualize as African Americans so that we can make sure within our communities we're coming together. We're creating unity, we're pulling our resources so that we can move forward collectively and make moves so that we can affect change in a way and sustain it. Versus these protests, which are great. I understand we gotta, start somewhere, but historically, we've protested, and we go back on the couch, we get comfortable, and nothing changes. Right. So it has to be a total effort. We have the capacity to do it all. We have the capacity to say, hey, my brother, I love you. How can we pull together our resources and make some changes for our community? Let's talk. Let's stop the violence. Let's stop the killing. Let's get out here and start speaking to these young boys about, using their talents and all their energy for something good. And let's talk about police reform. Let's talk about educational reform. Let's talk about the whole thing. Let's just not focus on police brutality.
Yeah.
Because that's just one aspect of a bigger pie.
Yeah. And I think that the police brutality thing is one of the things that affect us all the most. Because even though it don't have to happen to you, when you see it happen to somebody that look like you, right, it takes an effect on you. So you said it, we've been conditioned. We've been conditioned to take things as they are, or as they are now rather, for the longest, for as long as we can remember. And it is time to break that cycle. It's time to just break the cycle. But the real question is, we know what needs to be done. The real question is, how do we do it? How do we do it? How do that get done? We have some answers now. We have some answers. Collectively, we can get it together, man. Collectively, we can get it together. But how do we do it? We need all the answers. We need answers for everything. Not just the police situation. I mean, economic reform is gonna have to come through us for us. Right. It's gonna have to, like, whatever your businesses is and whatever your programs are that I can use as a service, I need to start using them.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I need to start using them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whatever my services are that may help you in your business or whatever the case may be, use my services.
We used to do that, though.
You know what I mean? But it ain't hard to get back to it. We got to break the cycle.
Yeah, we used to trade sugar.
We got to break the cycle. We got to break the cycle.
It starts with us.
It got to.
Yeah,
it
definitely starts with us.
So, Mo, how you feel about that?
I'm going to piggyback on gentleman over here. It's definitely, it starts with us. We have to start uplifting each other instead of tearing each other down. And that goes across for all races. But as far as being a black man, I get tired of so much of driving somewhere, walking in an establishment, and it's a bunch of brothers in there, and you get the stares, you get the looks like, who you? Like instead of the embracing, we need to learn how to embrace each other more, and lift each other up.
Right.
And just because we see somebody that looks different or that's doing a different thing, bring them in, talk to them, and say, hey, listen, I admire what you're doing. I like what you're doing. Maybe when you get some time, we can sit down and fellowship, and you can show me a route, and maybe I can show you a route. We need to do that, because I do understand what you're saying as far as it's us robbing us. Like, I used to live in the projects in New York, and pretty much, I used to tell people, it's not the white man coming into the projects, pissing in the elevators, pissing in the hallways. That's us. Right. When are we going to start taking ownership of where we live and the things we cherish, and take hold of that and say, this is our neighborhood. Right. It's time for us to embrace that. I definitely get what the two other gentlemen are saying on the panel as far as, certain things are necessary, because enough is enough. No matter if you move to a different area, you get a better job, you get more money, you're still black.
Exactly.
You're still black. Yes. I'm gonna share a story with everybody. I do a lot of contract armed security around Maryland, D.C., and Virginia. And I was working one day in my uniform, got a D.C. carry permit, but I was in the store on the premises. Now, this all originated from black man, older gentleman that worked for the company that I was contracted to. He was bitter for whatever reason. I had credentials that he didn't have. So he made a phone call, a mysterious phone call to D.C. is governed by the police department takes care of the security. So he made a phone call. Oh, there's a black man in the store, not licensed, with a gun. So there we go again. The backbiting from my own. They came and they sent like 9, 10 officers in there. But it was funny because all the officers they sent was the ones that know me, that see me every day, that come speak. So they was like, what's going on? But once again, a white gentleman that was a supervisor, he came in there, I showed him all my credentials. He said, yeah, you right, you got everything you're supposed to have, but you're still getting locked up today. And it like my heart dropped, because it's like you're acknowledging that I have everything I'm supposed to have. And because of a technicality, my gun wasn't covered because I had a DC carry conceal permit, but I was on private property doing private contracting for that company, and he stood in. So I got arrested and everything, had to go through the processing. So it's humbling, because at the same time, sometimes I'm going to own up to this. Sometimes you forget because you remove yourself from so much, and you go about your day and you go about your life, but you're always reminded that you're black.
Yeah.
You're always reminded that you're black.
Yeah, that's one thing you're not gonna get rid of, man. You're gonna continue to get that, because you are that. You're gonna forever be that. But I mean, with that, like you say, man, sometimes it's just the fact that you are who you are, and when you can do some of what others do that they don't expect you to be able to do, then they want to push you down. And they want to push you down in a way that if I push you down hard enough, you won't be able to do it no more. So to have you arrested, you know what I'm saying, and go through all the nonsense and just to inconvenience you, he feel like he won.
Yep.
He feel like he won.
Yep.
So in his eyes, I guess his job was done.
Yep.
So.
But what his brother should have did was go over to him, have a conversation if he got a question.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because that's his brother.
Yeah.
Right? That's this our community. This is how we come together. So, hey man, you good? You got you good? You straight? Don't go call the big brother like that. You know what I'm saying? Because that don't work for us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what we gotta realize. Like, it's gotta be us first.
Yeah.
We have to stop fighting each other.
Yeah, man.
But that could have been your last day, right?
Yeah.
To be honest, because that's a scary situation. You a black guy, even though you had all your permits, but you're carrying. And somebody all it had to be was one false movement, and we would have been marching about you. The sad part is, the sad part is that someone that looked like you didn't have the courage enough to say, "Hey, bro, make sure you cover up," because it could have just been that short of hey, bro, make sure you cover up, bro, because
Right.
That's just the law around here, bro.
DC is the law,
right? That's just the law, and I want to make sure you're good, and not to, and even if he called to spite you, right? Which you said. Not once did he think, like, man, this guy might be a husband. Mm-hmm. This guy might be a father. Mm-hmm. This guy's livelihood is at stake, right? Especially when I call some people that might hurt you. And that's the problem. Yeah. It's a lot of separatism within our community, and I necessarily don't agree, like, with the way we've been operating for years. Even and to me, it's a slave mentality, right?
I was just gonna say that.
Because it's like,
not to cut you off, it goes back to saying we were conditioned. The conditioning ain't start yesterday.
No.
The conditioning ain't started in the early 80s.
Yeah.
It ain't started in the 70s or the 60s. The conditioning was going on before them. And we had others who was out there even speaking about the conditions that we were under, and they were talking about this. Again, you said it earlier, is no room for the type of tactics that they used. Yeah. All right. So we can break it. Yeah. Now let me give you this, and you're right. Matter of fact, hold up. Before I even get to that point, because I'm gonna hold my thought, because it'll sum up that. I want your input on the question that was asked in the beginning, as far as like how you feel about the whole situation.
I think I like what everybody was saying. All of y'all brothers sound, brilliant and poignant. Your point of views really touching me right now, and your story too. I think that collaboration is important. I think that it's very interesting that this situation with George Floyd is the one that's opening up the world. And let's keep it 100. It's because of the reason why I got this mask on right now. It's because of the coronavirus. Because everybody was at standstill. We ain't got no NBA. We ain't got no baseball. We don't have new fresh shows to watch. Everybody's sitting down, stagnant. So everybody on their phone watching that video that the 17-year-old girl took on her phone of this situation. So now all of white America and the establishment and the powers that be and all these artists and athletes, because they're not on the road, they're not touring right now. Right. Then all of a sudden, so that's been interesting. Let's keep it 100 about that. Right. That's why everybody tripping off this situation, because it's been happening. Right, we done had a day 19 of protest. That's what I'm saying. We done had it on the camera before in the day of cameras. Mike Brown was on camera. Eric Gardner Can't Breathe was on camera. Yeah. Now, so we thankful for the opportunity to get the voice loud. But let's keep it 100 around the fact that, like, I think when you said that, brother. I don't know if it was you, Mayo, but one of you guys said we kind of do what we do. We address the situation, then we go back to our regular lives. We go back to our families, our wives, our kids, our businesses, sitting on our couch, doing whatever we doing. But this time, we couldn't do that because we ain't had no bars to go to and sit and watch the game and do beer and see a video and say, damn, that's messed up, and then keep it moving. We had to pay attention to it. So now we got change happening. Yeah.
100% right.
And that's absolutely right, man. Like, the distractions that's thrown out there and that's put out there in front of us, man, is enough to on a regular basis, when we do have the basketball, the baseball, the football, those distractions, they come so frequent, man, that the commercials has gotten so good, it forces you not to change the channel.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. That's why they put so much money into it, but it has to be that way. And excuse me for a second, that's my man. I see my man walking up, my man Warrior walking up, who would actually have a whole bunch. Walk up and grab a seat, homeboy, slide on over here. He would have a lot to add to the cold content of the situation, man. Everybody, this Warrior, that's Mayo, this is John. Rob, I'm sorry, Rob, I got it wrong, I'm sorry. That's Mo and D.
Nice to meet y'all.
Nice to meet you too.
Everybody out there in the Cigar Toes page right now, that's my man Warrior. And Warrior has actually joined us today, man. And it's damn good because of what we talking about. We talking about the police brutality, we talking about the things of that nature. And one of the questions that I had to propose to everybody on the panel was, have they ever been affected, touched personally by police brutality? And in which way, in which form? And what did they do about it? How did they come through it? What was that? And I wanted to get that question out a little later, you know what I mean? And now that Warrior's here, I can get it out effectively. You know what I mean? Because everybody's had some type of personal experience with something of it. You know what I mean? So we're gonna jump the track for a second. Is that cool with everybody?
That's cool. That's cool.
Cool. All right. So again, we all have been affected by police brutality of some sort. And as Mayo said, you know, that whole thing got to be changed. That system got to be changed. But it's not just them. As Mo said, you know, we got to accept the responsibility for the things that we do, the things that we can change, and the changes that we can make. The direction that we can give is going to be very imperative because of the fact that the best example you can give is the one that you lead by, right? So when you have new police officers coming in the force and they see the gung-ho cocky officers that been on the force doing what they doing, that's the examples that they have to follow, that they're being led by.
Yeah.
So they take it on as, you know what, I'm gonna do it too. It's how it's supposed to be.
Right.
It don't matter if you black, you white, you a police.
Yeah.
That's your color, that's your race.
Yeah, we see black police.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like when you're a police, that's your race. It's nothing else. Like you're a police, that's your race.
So a lot of young men want. I don't mean to cut you off. A lot of young men want to fit in. They want to belong to something.
Right.
And it to me that even goes back to the home. You know, you have to teach your children that you got to be proud of who you are. Don't be a follower. Be a leader. No matter how different you are, walk to your own beat.
And you know what, Mo, you right. Now I'm a guy. Don't get mad at me, all right? Don't get mad. But I'm a guy who like I said, I had a show and I did before, man. I was like, some things we say we got to be careful when we say them, the terms we use, right? And the reason I say that, because you say don't be a follower, right? Well, take this note with that one.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Every good general had to once be a soldier. Yeah, he had to have something to follow.
That's true.
The thing is, when you following, take the right notes.
That's
true.
You take the right notes.
You also got to know like who you following, right?
Right.
What am I following?
gotta-
You get what I'm
gotta
saying?
know
What am I
what's wrong.
following? Because the truth is, in my opinion, you know, the gang leaders, right? They some good leaders. Whether you,
Great
because
leaders.
they know how to recruit, they know how to restore, they have tactics, they have structure, and you have some Fortune 500 CEOs that don't even know how to maintain their business, right?
Right.
And so for me is, well, what am I following? What is the belief system in which I'm following? And so I could just imagine being a rookie on the police force, and I come into something that's already catastrophic, something that's toxic, and I'm taught or I see like, oh, they don't speak up, or they don't call out other officers when they doing wrong, or they're reprimanded. Like there's consequences if hey bro, we're not supposed to treat people like that. So it's like, hey, this is everyday business. This is how it's supposed to be in specific communities or for certain people, right? I can just imagine, you know, the mindset that you have to get into. It's almost like a militant mindset, right? When you go to war,
The structure.
you can't be,
The structure.
oh, that's a good person. No, they got a gun.
The structure.
And I don't care what their age is. Like, I was taught and trained to do this, to execute this away. And so it's a learned behavior. And then it becomes a part of your psyche every day. So you're not valuable if you live in this zip code. Right? And I was at the barbershop, and no joke. And my barbershop is not regular. We get into real deep conversations. And one day, I didn't know this guy was a police officer. And then when I realized he was, I asked him a question. I was like, well, what district? And he told me. And he said, you know, everybody in that community is the same. And that puzzled me. So I was like, you mean to tell me, like, if I came to your community, you would view me the same as everybody else? And he was like, well, yeah, whatever reason would you be in that community? Well, those people live there. And I was like, so if you treat everybody the same, that means I could be a 14-year-old kid that's just going to school, but you view me the same, so I'm a bad guy. He was like, yeah, but I've met kids that carry guns. I was like, yeah, but all kids don't carry guns. So you can't assume, and he was black, you can't assume that all kids carry guns. But in his mind, he couldn't see it. It was almost like racist people. Like, they can't see it. Like, even the ones that say, I'm not racist, I'm not biased, no matter how much you explain it, he couldn't see it. And I was like, man, like,
You call them more program.
hey, bro.
They more of a program
Yeah,
people.
and that's what it is.
It was
the
bad.
program. It's the programming, you know what I mean? Again, it goes back to the cycle having to be broke. See, that cycle has to be broken, right? And restructured. But the restructure has to accommodate everybody that is for.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a taxpayer, I'm a taxpayer, we all taxpayers, then that's a force that's working for us.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that all police are bad. I'm not saying that. I have friends that are police, bruh.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We got family members that are police.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And things have happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We understand that, listen, man, it's a tough job.
It is.
You know what I mean? But the structure is kind of messed up right now, and it has to be broken and changed. And it has to be changed to accommodate everybody out there that's on the that's other than the force.
He might have saw everybody the views the way he saw. Probably one of the people rap about. You know, he was a punk ass in school. They say he was I'm sorry, you know, he was a punk in school. He used to pick with you and all that. So as him getting on the force, he felt like he with a whole new family. He's programmed a certain way, and he's gonna go to a whole nother level and want to think like them to fit in.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't fit in nowhere else.
Yeah.
So when they get them jobs, yeah, they feel like they up on somebody. So by him going and saying, I look at everybody the same.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
Because these same old people that pay taxes, that serve wars and all that, the same people that went against the police, because even they came out and said, that's not police work.
Yeah.
That wasn't police work. And then the man was for the police all day long. But,
Yeah.
you know, what I experienced in September 23rd, 2009 was a whole nother ball game.
Yeah.
2 black cops and a white.
Yeah.
So
They don't, and who was doing the more damage? Black cops.
Yeah.
Even though the white cops were, you know, hold that.
So, Warrior, not to cut you off,
Mhm.
and I'm not jumping tracks. We're gonna stay on the track, but let me just propose the question so that you can fully answer it, right? And we'll start with you, right? I was going to end with you because I felt that I know that your story, I know your story, and I know how detrimental that was, and I thought that based on the panel that we have up here, from what I know, yours was the most detrimental story. So I was gonna save that one for last. But since you started, we're gonna keep it going that way, right? But just based on the question, just tell everybody what you're telling me is that you've been affected by, personally, you've been affected by police brutality within this city within the past few years. While handcuffed.
While even being read my Miranda rights, nothing. Just, you know, sitting around here, you know, just going to the store. Just a regular day. Not messing with nothing. It's too hot. Somebody asked me a question. That automatically, and what you just said out your mouth, viewed it. Oh, they just think that we're doing a drug transaction. Instead of me just having a conversation outside, they gave them the right to jump out. Checked us 1,000 times. Set us on the curb, cross our legs, set our hands right here so we won't get up. You couldn't find them. Man's ready to take me down the station without no charges to find a warrant because the dispatcher wasn't working. I mean, they just trying to find any little way. Them in that roughing up, I'm already in handcuffs. I'm already sitting here. I don't even know what I'm being charged for. And, you know, Big Cop wanted to play tough because I keep telling them, what am I being arrested for? Why am I going down? And you start asking questions that irritates them. That's what gets them mad. They get mad when people know their rights as a law-abiding citizen. They hate it. Because what they're taught, these dumb ends don't know nothing. They don't read. So when they tell you something, just go ahead and make up another charge so it can stick in court. That's all it's about, end of the day.
Resisting arrest.
The first thing, resisting arrest. I'm already in handcuffs. I can't resist arrest. You already took that away when you didn't even read me my Miranda rights. Like, it was just so much that day. Like, what was y'all whole cause? Like, y'all was just bored? Then, you know, from the hand around my throat, knees in my chest, other cop holding my leg down. Same way George Floyd went through. I'm sorry. I said it in my head. You don't have to put bullet holes in me because I'm not letting y'all choke me out today. I'm sitting out and
Tell the people what literally happened when they did all that. What was your results coming out of that, or going through that at that moment?
Everything was just going so fast, you know. By the time I know this man was intentionally hurting me, when this cop was at least about 270 pounds on my chest and neck, hand around my throat, no reason. Then you get mad, you know. Got out. I rushed them off me with handcuffs on, lifted myself up. Yeah, and I had to defend myself.
What was going on while you was going through that?
Well, I was going through all that. One cop tried to sling me, slung him over top of my shoulder. The other cop tried to sit up here and pick me up. That didn't work. Slung him over top of my shoulder. So the other one clipped me. Lost my battle on my balance. Big cop. No, I could not defend myself. Straight hands. I couldn't even count how many punches it was. There's no way I couldn't defend myself. My adrenaline was rushing so hard, it felt like it wasn't really affecting me then until they got me up to put me in a paddy wagon. And I can't open up my eye. Can't open up my eye at all. Like, Western District been doing this to people for years. Even before, what was this? Even before Freddie Gray. It happened, no, my joint happened on Cary and Westwood compared to what happened around the corner to Freddie Gray a few years later. Same district. A few years later. But mind you, I had a buddy get his teeth kicked out by the same district. Western District been doing this for years. I'm sorry to say, I don't condone no type of vandalism. Western District should have been burnt down just the way they did Minneapolis. I'm sorry. And they could keep on saying it's good cops. Yeah, I had family members. Trust me. Retired Baltimore County police, not Baltimore City, Baltimore County. I had family members that are retired. That, that's with the community, that was teaching the kids karate, just making sure that the children stay on a positive note. What happened to them officer-friendly programs we grew up with? Right. Like the little things.
Listen, we just talked about this yesterday, right? Me and a couple people, right? Right. And I made a statement, and some of y'all might, I'm not sure how old everybody is, but some of y'all might know. Even with the officer-friendly program, right? Like, we knew two things. Officer-friendly, when he came to the schools, he wasn't officer-friendly from around the way, right? He was somebody from that district that represented that district. He sat in the office, didn't hit the block, didn't hit the streets, because when we were younger, a lot of times, the officers knew who your parents was. You could say your name.
Sure. Yep.
You could say your name. If your last name, or you was a junior, or even just your facial features, your structure, your body, whatever. You so-and-so, son. Yep. Man, I know your father. Yep. Look, check this out. You know what I mean? And they straighten you up. Yep. It ain't take you to have to go through something that'll mess you up for the rest of your life. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because we all make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Now, even with you asking the questions to them and saying what you were saying to them while they were going through what they was going through, it was other ways they could have handled it probably, right? At that point in time, see, and I know it's easier said than done. Right. It's easier said than done. At that point in time, we got to be the greater thinker. You got to be the greater thinker. Because now if your rights is being violated as a citizen, you constantly bucking back at them in our neighborhoods, we never win.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
We never win.
Yeah, but at the same time, from Warrior's story, I don't see where he bucked back. You see what I'm saying? He was already handcuffed on the ground in a posture of being submissive, like he is nothing he can do, and they still, you know what I'm saying?
I get it.
So,
I ain't saying look, don't protect yourself to the best ability. Don't do nothing. I'm not saying don't do none of those things. I'm just saying sometimes we got to be the greater thinker.
Absolutely.
You got to be the greater
thinker.
I've
seen some things on TV recently where people are showing different instances of police brutality, but cats is going in on the police. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, these people are trying to get home to their families, and they got a job that they're trying to do, and they operating from a state of fear, just like the next man. So I can understand why eventually you had to do what you had to do. Ideally, we wouldn't want any of these situations to end up how they end up. Right. So to your point, let's again back to self-actualization. Let's make sure we're not putting ourselves in certain positions to be victims.
So you got to be the what? You got to be the greater thinker.
You got to be the greater thinker. But in his case, he was already at that point. He had nothing else to do. So then, human emotion and instinct, right? You like, yo, I gotta protect myself. I feel like I'm about to die. You know what I'm saying?
Understood.
So it's just a tough situation.
Yeah, but sometimes you don't ask for it. And I'll give you an example. So when I was about 12 or 13, and I even wrote an op-ed about this. I went. It was right after school. When you're a kid, you have your friends that you hang with. I knock on my friend's door. He wasn't home. And as I started to walk back to my house, I noticed a helicopter flying low. And, in Baltimore City, we used to seeing them, circle. And I was like, man, this helicopter's low. But I didn't think anything of it. I just got out of school. And as I just continued to walk, it kind of trailed me. But I'm like, they're looking for somebody, not me, right? And I just turned around, and I just remember cops just running towards me. So the first thing I thought to myself was like, yo, whoever this person they're looking for is in this area.
Yeah.
And then they had their guns out. And I've never had a gun pulled on me, but I'm like, hey, like they're coming towards me. Maybe 12 years old. So in my mind, I said, maybe I should run if they're looking for a person. And when I turned around, an officer came, from the opposite direction, took me down to the ground, and they had guns to my face. And I just was puzzled. Like, I didn't say anything because I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what was going on.
The effects of that situation, how does it affect you today when you see a police?
So,
you see police in a situation, like how does that affect you, to the point of you feeling a particular way?
So when I was that age, I just remember, like, without even really knowing the reason behind it, I knew what hatred felt like. I could look in their eyes and tell I was an enemy. Like, I didn't know them, but I felt the hatred. And I just remember my friend mom seeing it happen, and I just felt safety in her voice. She just was saying, he a kid. Like, he a kid. And they got me up after she was doing some yelling, and they was just like, go to F in the house. And I was walking home, and I remember walking home shaking. And I told myself that it wouldn't have mattered what I would have said. Like, no matter what I would have said, I would have still been in that situation. And so now when I deal with police, so like if I'm being stopped, I don't say anything, because I know that I have the right to remain silent, and that's what I do. I make sure everything is in my hand before they come. I don't greet. Right. I don't say hello. I don't say, why did you stop me? I don't say, hey, how's your day? I just give them what they need, and then they give it back.
No sudden movement.
And I don't do.
So again, back
I don't.
To the point that I made, you were being the bigger thinker.
I don't do anything.
You know what I'm saying? Then sometimes
because
it takes us to be the bigger thinker.
Because soon as you say something, you've given up your. Think about it, the right to remain silent. Soon as they ask you that question, do you understand? And you say yes, you're just giving up your right, and they're gonna use that against you. And so I know that. But what I've tried to do is, because I know all cops isn't bad, and I've done this for years. Like, you could fact check it. I would go to cops that's on duty, and I would say, man, how's your day? Or I would thank them. I've had a cop cry because I thanked him. And I realized, man, that weight of that job is on you, my guy.
That's real.
The weight of that job is on you. I've bought, cops lunch. Hey, bro, you hungry? And they would just be puzzled, like, bro, like, why are you doing this for me? And what I've seeked is an understanding. Because you don't want that. You don't want to hurt people that look like you, but that's how you got to survive within that, because they'll kill you.
Yeah. No,
Because to them, bro, even though you got a uniform on, you still black, and I know your superiors. I know your superiors don't look like you.
Look at what happened 10 years ago with the cop downtown. On uniform, end up shooting a joint, a suspect, and you end up getting gunned down by your own people. Oh, they made every excuse not to prosecute them people that gunned down their own kind. So you're absolutely correct. Torbett to be his name. Torbett.
And sometimes you get set up. Growing up in New York, one of my best friends I grew up with, he's a Baltimore County police officer. It was always something that I wanted to do because we worked in group homes. We worked with kids. I wanted to do it to make a change. But I know that my makeup, my personality, I probably would have been one of those that would have been killed by their own. My grandmother, I think she'd be 92 or 93. She's a pastor, a prophet, and she sees visions. And the whole time, because that was one of the reasons why I moved here, because we work with the feds in New York, so I moved here to be a police officer. But she would see visions. She would see visions of me going into a gate in my uniform, doing my job, and then one day she seen a vision of me in a coffin in my uniform. And I know, because of the strong personality I have, I would have been one of those to stand up to the bad guys in blue. And I know, and that's not the path that God wanted for me. Right. He wanted me to do other things in other directions to make a difference. Mm-hmm. But I know, and I know this is just a TV show, but Chicago PD is what I watch a lot. And they touched on the episode of that when the black officer and the white officer was together, and the white officer was profiling, and pretty much it got the white officer killed. And, you know, he had to make a decision, the black guy had to make a decision, Kevin, on whether or not to just go with the flow or tell the truth to the panel. And when he told the truth, you know, the unit that he works in, the intelligence unit, they said, look, we stand behind you 100%. But it was funny because the other officers, when he got home, they was always about 20 of them in their car. They was all waiting for him. And they pretty much turned on it like they was harassing them. So pretty much, you know, you're right. That's kind of what happens when the good guys want to speak up. It's the retaliation. And the retaliation can end in death. You know, it could be a call to come through and nobody show up but you. And then now you're gunned down. And it's easily explained away.
Right. So, Ron, have you ever been specifically targeted by the police in any situation that has happened to you and it still affects you today?
As far as police go, I mean, I've been pulled over a number of times. I can't tell you how many times I've been pulled over in the same day, even. You know what I'm saying? But I haven't had any like exchanges that got brutal or anything like that. But I can tell you that because of my awareness, my dad's a retired law enforcement officer, and he always kind of trained me on just being aware of what you need to do in those situations. So me being a black man and getting pulled over, like Mayo said, soon as I get pulled over and I realize I'm getting pulled over, everything is on deck. So I don't have to move at all, right? So when he come to the window, sometimes cops will get mad because I ain't rolled the window down yet, but that's okay. You can see my hand hit the button. We can deal with that. It's okay for me to roll the window down. Bam. We do that. We have the discussion. And I'll do things like, you know, because a lot of times I'm a musician, so I'm always on the road late at night, coming home from clubs, coming from New York down to Baltimore, and that turnpike get real. So I'll make sure I got music equipment in my car so it's visible. I'll make sure I have stuff in my trunk that's visible. Like, you open my trunk, you can see music equipment. Just so that when I tell you my story or what I'm doing, you can visually see in plain sight, oh, it's true, he is a musician. I mean, it's things we just got to do. You know what I'm saying? Being a bigger thinker, thinking ahead of time. You know what I'm saying? But that's so that's just some of the things I've had to do.
That's it, man. You're right, Mo. The rules are different for us, man. And it doesn't make a lot of sense to the fact that we should have to do that. Like, we should have to have our equipment visible for them to see that what we're saying is the truth or some of the truth. Like, it shouldn't be that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that has became part of the new norm that we had to deal with. And it wasn't the new norm, it was part of the norm. Just what we had to deal with. You know what I mean? So when I say that cycle has to be broken, it has to be broken, bro. You know what I mean? Because exactly, and I don't want.
Sir.
I mean, man, listen, we didn't all
seen the videos.
We didn't all seen videos. We didn't seen clips. We didn't seen everything. We have heard stories where people have done things that wasn't black, right, and got away with it. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, got away with it to the point where they didn't took their cars and rolled out on them, and they stop, hey, come back. Like, none of that. We couldn't dare do that. I mean, listen, you not only tased, you probably shot before you tased. They gonna shoot you, then tase you. And say they tased you because you was moving after they shot you.
Piggyback what you talking
about
right now. I saw a post this morning. Somebody that we both know put up there and made a long post about it. And, dude was tussling with the police. And he said, people wake up, blah, 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 whoop, whoop. And I got infuriated about it. I'm like, did you really just see this? Have you seen any other videos before you speak up on it? Oh, and I said, well, he was tussling with that. All he had to do was tase him. They ain't had to shoot him. Well, he was wrong, and they had the right to shoot. And I said, I could go ahead and show you 3 videos right now where people who are beating up and swinging at the cops, and they did not even reach for their gun. Right. This man was still unarmed. So I'm like, what you saying right now is pure BS. Yeah. Well, in different states, look, you can stay down south with that, but yeah, you got every state there, but still, that man was still unarmed. All you had to do was tase him. If y'all have a taser, okay, that's what's supposed to subdue us. Everybody. Yeah. Now, you go deadly force when you see somebody else with a gun or a knife. then that's when they supposed to feel threatened. But that still was an example of an unarmed man.
Right.
And you trying to justify that side.
There's no way.
It was no way around it.
There's no way to justify senseless killing. There's no way to justify.
Oh, he was
under
getting
any
tough. He
circumstances.
was sweet.
You know,
he was
it-
swinging on the police. I saw
feel-
3 drunk drivers do that to police.
I done seen plenty of people do different things that we would never get away with.
Right.
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 And again, it is our new norm. And I know some of y'all, no, you wrong, K, you wrong. Listen, it's what it is, and we have to change it. We have to change
We
it.
the people.
Yeah.
We listen, when the marching go on, when the protesting go on, the rioting go on, like you said, that momentum, the momentum is what's opening eyes. You got to keep the eyes open. Now, what structure should it go in? What should happen first? What should happen last? How much of it should happen? How do we protect our own? Because if you're in a neighborhood where you have black and white stores, do you just vandalize the white stores? Do you vandalize all the stores? Do you vandalize none of the stores? Is the vandalization of those stores in that community gonna have a positive outcome, or is it gonna have a negative outcome? Because some of them white stores can say, "Man, I'm
Yeah.
not coming back," and those stores never open up because some of us still won't get the loans
Yeah.
to do anything in them communities. So what's that? We need the answers, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying what I'm saying, but I'm really asking the question.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So
Solution.
the solution, the structure of a solution to this whole thing is what's needed.
Yeah. But
Can I
the
ask a
structure-
question
yeah,
that can lead us into that a
Oh,
little
sure,
bit?
sure.
So, let me ask y'all a question. How many of y'all ever hear about these things happening? Instances of police brutality, or anything like in a Jewish neighborhood?
Yeah.
You hear about Jews killing
No.
Jews?
One reason you hear these things in our neighborhood that you don't hear in other neighborhoods is because they have financial security within themselves.
Yes, sir.
So if I can take care of my people who's doing the security in my neighborhoods, you understand what I'm saying? Who has the programs that can help the youth or the other people that need the help from my, who has the entertainment sources to give to those youth who want that entertainment. If I have that, I need to financially secure my people
Yeah.
with that, because other races are doing it. Other races are doing it every day, all day, 365 a year.
So
Okay.
financial security. Now, even when so their neighborhoods ain't perfect. So when they have instances that happen, you don't hear about police coming and doing whatever they want to do because they police themselves.
their
Yeah.
own.
That's
Yep.
but that's the big difference though. And honestly, I know, and I'm gonna answer both. So destruction of any kind is never gonna be good, right? So I look at it like this: if you do an eye for an eye, if we always thought like that, everybody would be blind.
Right.
Because we all have done something wrong,
Exactly.
where somebody should want to see us, right? And so when I think about, I'm gonna go a little deeper. So when I think about like people of other, ethnicities, I can also turn on my TV and my radio, and I never see what they go through. That's number one. So it's socially unacceptable to even promote that.
Right.
True.
When I turn on my radio, if I go to any country station or pop station, I've never heard a country song talk about the destruction of their own people. Not one time. But my kids can identify through artists. Everybody talk about the destruction of people that look like them. And so it becomes almost acceptable within your own neighborhood for me to tear you down and for you to tear me down. And so how are we going to build together? How are we going to financially sustain together when that's been acceptable? And then the media, they play to it because they like this. So let's put out the shows, right? Let's put out these shows. Let's put out these little skits. Let's talk about the destruction within this community, because now it becomes perpetuated.
That's what this platform is about, man. That's what this platform is for. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah,
That's what this platform is for, because we are a different kind of cigar show. And I understand these brothers don't smoke. Warrior smokes. Mo smokes. He don't smoke. I smoke. So this is a different kind of cigar show. We're going to keep that as a fact first. But we talk about things, and the content we use on things here is very different. It's not just your average rating of the cigar. We will rate that, and I am smoking on the Kingsman, my man Mo's cigar, so we're going to get to that. But in the dynamics of that, all of us have kids, right? Am I right? No? Okay, so for the most part, we got kids out here that look up to us one way or another. In your work field, in your neighborhoods or the places you protect, you do your things the things y'all do is, you know, even with you, your son. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got your son at the shop with you, right? So I look at this thing as, what can we do and put in place to pass this torch to the next ones? Because it's not even about the millennials now, right? The millennials got their mind made up. They know what they want. The millennials, they ready. They the charge. They the charge in this force. You know, I had a conversation with my daughter, right? And my youngest daughter, and she, you know, I was asking her views on, you know, the same thing. Basically, you know, like how they dealing with it, what they think, you know, is it necessary to do the riding? And we got to the point of talking about how the torch was passed. You know what I mean? And it got to us like, you know, well, what was our torch? You know what I mean? I said, the torch, what was our torch? Do you know? You know what I mean? And I struggle with it a little bit, but for her, a 21-year-old to say, Dad, y'all torch was y'all entertainment, y'all music. Y'all yell through y'all music and y'all entertainment. Like, we need more now. We need more now. Y'all definitely got that. You got the world's attention. You had the world running around singing, "Fight the Power."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was different.
It was different. Yeah.
It was more the struggle we was going through, but it was more positive in outlook. It wasn't. Now it's more about the cars, the boats.
It's a lot of things that's been infiltrated into the whole system of entertainment and hip, especially with hip hop. Yeah. And I'm a hip hop fan, man. You know what I mean? But I do see and I do understand, you know, what my mother used to say, like, that music, this is that. I get it sometimes when you hear some things that just don't make sense. I get it. Now, do I not like it? No, man, because some of the times they got good beats, they got good, you know what I mean, whatever. Right. But you know, the content of what they're talking about, I can't get with that. So when I have my, you know, like if I got my grandson with me, you know what I mean, things that I need, my granddaughters around me or whatever the case is, I'm not listening to that in that sense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
A lot of it is giving a female appeal and raping her.
Yeah, basically.
And it's like,
basically,
that's what
and I definitely don't want my granddaughters thinking that that's okay.
That's okay.
I don't want my grandson thinking that, and I know that they will. Again, it goes back to what I said in the beginning. We have to change the structure. We got to break the cycle. And the thing is, the question came up again: how or where do we start?
I got something for you.
You know what I mean?
I got something for you, man. And this is a tough thing that we don't like to talk about, and especially as men, because it's not the popular thing.
Yeah.
But when you talk about healing on a deep level, as African Americans in this country, we got PTSD from slavery and all kind of stuff passed down to us from generation to generation. So you know the saying, hurt people hurt people. If I'm not healed, I'm not even going to respond appropriately to what's going on around me. Yep. So our communities are hurt. Right. We hurt.
Me as your brother, I'm supposed to recognize that.
Right.
And I'm supposed to say, hey, listen, come take a ride.
Yep. But what if you don't have the capacity to, because you got pain? So the dude that pulled the gun on me last year, I could see pain in his eyes. You see what I'm saying? Like, it ain't had nothing to do with me. I never said one thing to the world. The dude, I ain't say one word. I ain't even move. I ain't flinch. I just looked like, dag, yo, I gun in my face. And then he went on about his business. So I'm like, I ain't do nothing to this brother. So that ain't had nothing to do with me. But in a moment, his pain could have caused me pain, but it could have been more perpetuating pain, killing me, hurting my family, kids growing up without a father, and it just goes on and on.
And
so
his family too.
But it would have made him know better.
So when do we get to the point where we say, you know what? Because after that situation, I was running around looking like this. Yeah. I got my gun on me on the bus stop with my children.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like this. Now I got to go seek help. So I went and saw a therapist for 3 months. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And he helped me through some stuff that I didn't realize I was dealing with.
Right.
Yeah.
So it took that for me to heal. But I know a lot of brothers that's going through a lot of stuff. And I'm like, yo, have you ever talked to somebody about that?
But you know why, bro?
Nah.
You know why? Because healing hurts.
Yeah.
Because the truth is, when you become vulnerable,
the truth hurts.
Like, you gotta strip yourself to be like, bro, like I'm no good. Like I get what you see on Facebook and IG and behind, you know, the diamonds and the smile and all of this. But the truth is, deep down inside, because all of us, like, I'm gonna just be honest. When I think about black men and black women, like, we all got some stuff. People could avoid it. Or like, yo, no, that don't bother me. But you know that this world don't value. That's a hurt within itself.
When you wake up in the morning.
Like, I gotta work 20 times as hard. Like I put out a post. I said, man, look, I did everything right. I never hustled. I don't smoke. I've never smoked, right? I've never perpetuated, like, I ain't cheat. I ain't calling girls bees. I don't rap. I listen to gospel. I went to the whitest universities you can go to, right? All of my friends like, man, you speak, you know, proper, right? So I'm losing whatever the credibility that you thought that I shouldn't have, right, for my protection. And yet and still, when I go apply for a job, every time I mark that African American box, I know that there's a strike against me. So I'm doing everything right, but yet and still my value is not the same. Not to mention the stuff that I had to grow up in, right? Like watching my dad go to jail, or watching my family dismantle one another or hurt one another, or watching my grandparents try to keep it together and not like, so all of us are going through something, and until we say like, hey, I really need, like, I can't love you right, bro. Bro, I apologize to people that's at my church. I told them, because Rob is in this group, I texted him, I said, bro, I wanted to apologize to y'all, because when I looked at this relationship, I was kind of looking at it from, how can I be connected to them to be connected to something better? Right. Versus, yo, I should just love on him because that's my brother. That's why I should love him. It shouldn't be an end result to that, right? But it is for most of us. Like when I think about the people that's connected to my pastor, you want to be connected because of his title. But see him as the man, because he's hurt too.
We go through that in life, man, with everything. It could be the pastors, it could be coaches, it could be teachers, it could be the local drug dealers in your neighborhood. Yep. You know what I'm saying? We get people that we look up to for whatever reason. We look up to them, right? And with that, man, like, I think we just got we're changing the cycle. Back to changing the cycle, man. We have to start with ourselves, because the best example that we can give is the one that we lead by. And if we don't give the best examples, then we can't expect the cycle to change or those who come after us to do anything different. So when I was talking about us, what we're going to do as far as passing the torch, you know, the millennials is ready. They charged up. They ready to go. You know what I mean? They got their ideas and they got their reasons for doing what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? But the ones that's coming after them, what's going to be left for them? We got to condition the millennials, right? We got to condition them enough that they can take this charge and keep it moving. They're going to have to listen to us now. Y'all got to listen to us. You're going to have to listen to us. You're going to have to listen to us. But amongst the listening to us, Mike almost hit me in my head. Amongst the listening to us, you know what I mean? You got to take it all in stride. Yep. Everything is put there for a purpose. So, you know, knowing what to do with it and how to deal with it or how to treat it is going to be the most important factor. When it comes to talking to people, we got to know how to talk. We gotta know how to talk. I mean, sometimes we forget about making them feel uncomfortable. No, you want them to understand you. Right. You want to have somebody let them know. Listen, I'm more than what you think I am. I'm beyond that. You know what I mean? I can have an intellectual conversation. You know what I mean? I can talk on a level that's not just, you know what I mean? Know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I can go beyond that. But if I have to go to that, and you want to call it Ebonics, well, guess what? We done created another language. It shows you how sharp we are. You dig what I'm saying? So, with that being said, you're right. You know, people do want to connect to people because of a title. You know, we see the same thing in a lot of different organizations around, be it clubs, be it jobs, be it whatever. People want to connect to a title, but they don't have a hole within themselves. But now, with looking at that, that's not always bad, because it goes back to what I said to you, Mo. Every good soldier that became a general had to once follow something. Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons.
You know what I mean? So, you know, a buddy of mine, excuse me not to cut you off, a buddy of mine, we did an interview with him, and you know, we was on the point of real recognizing real. One of the truest statements I think we all can acknowledge is that real recognize real. But to know the flip side of it is that fake also recognizes real. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because they want to be like that. Even some who fake, who want to change their identity to be something real. But what they see is being real. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. So people want to identify with something that they consider greater than themselves to put themselves in those shoes. To say that I'm this or I'm part of that.
Yeah.
At least to be part of that. You know what I mean? Now being part of something sometimes can be a greater thing as well. And that's something we have to recognize. You joined the church.
Yeah.
You felt it was a greater thing for you. As opposed to just trying to, worship and be a believer in the sense of your own, doing it all by yourself in the house, in the corner, in the basement, whatever the case may be. Some people do that. You felt a different way to try to connect.
Yeah.
It wasn't because you wanted to be in the shoes of somebody else, because you want to be along with some other people who thought like you, who feel like you, who understand and think the way that you think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what we got to get through in life, man, with each other. Like, I shouldn't have a problem with even trying to get an understanding of you if I really don't know you.
But you have to ask those questions.
Yeah, you do.
Like,
you do.
I think that's, so if we had to give like a point to the millennials, right?
Mm-hmm.
I always tell my kids, you got 2 eyes, 2 ears, and 1 mouth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Be quick to listen, slow to speak. Seek understanding first, right? Because now when I talk to some millennials, because time, like, they get things so rapidly, it's like, oh, I don't gotta listen to you.
Right.
Oh, I don't gotta listen to you. And I always say, don't worry about the messenger. Listen to the message,
Exactly.
right? Because they're telling you for a reason. And there's a lot of lessons that we could have learned from leaders in the past, and what we should have learned from leaders like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and everybody else, like the Black Panthers. If you notice one thing about those leaders, yeah, they was powerful, but you notice that they never really came together. They never came together and had a solid solution. They all serve in the same community with different purposes. Divided we fall. That's just so true. Divided we fall. So yeah, you got one way, I got one way. Instead of us coming to, hey bro, let's break some bread.
Yeah.
No, this is how we should be doing.
This
it almost came together before they made sure it was permanently disbanded.
That's part of the systematic structure.
Right.
The systematic structure is the divide and conquer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay? So divide and conquer means I'm going to do whatever I can do to separate me and you and you and you and you and you so that we can't even do this.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
One of the reasons why I started my cigar brand is because, I've got my love of cars through my grandfather. He used to always take me to the races in North Carolina and stuff like that. So I always liked cars. But sometimes people look at me and like, oh, he got money. No, it's I work hard and I like certain things, but I don't go out there and spend $100,000 on something. I wait. I don't care if it's 10 years later. I might get me a 06 and it's 2021. But, I did the research and I searched and I got something that I can afford. But I wanted to show our people, that you can enjoy a cigar.
Yeah.
A cigar doesn't necessarily have to be the color of your skin or whatever. You can fellowship with your own people no matter where. If you want to drink whiskey, bourbon, iced tea, Coca-Cola, water, or anything, you can just sit back and enjoy conversation, good fellowship, go on vacation. It's about teaching. We have to teach the millennials and the younger ones on how to make your money work for you and how to put it back within you and also within your own community.
Yeah, the communities is what's going to be, is not what's going to be, is what's important. Like, us putting the money back into the communities amongst our own is very detrimental. We do it with the barbershops. A lot of us like to go to the barbershops in the communities that we do. Like I was talking to my barber one day and I told him, like, man, I call your barbershop my therapy room. You know what I mean? Because that's where I go to get my therapy. It's more than just a cut. Right. And that's important in the neighborhood. I wasn't feeling right today, early, whatever, so I went and got my cut. You know what I mean? I feel a little bit better about being on this panel today with my cut. You know what I mean? But I went to my homeboy, who is a black business owner, who has a black business within the community, who serviced me. Yeah. So that money right now is in the community. Yeah. You know what I mean? Now where he decides to spend it at is something different. But knowing him, he spends his money with the community. Yeah. And that's just how he do. And I think we all need to try to adopt at least a little bit of that to help that turn into the snowball effect.
Absolutely.
To become a natural thing.
That's a big deal.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
It is a big deal, but we also got to recognize, like, every one of us got on a white brand, right? Whether we agree or disagree, we do. And what happens is, and it's not knocking those brands, right? But we know what's being promoted as well. Right. I haven't heard one brand. If you need to send it to me, please do. I'll give you my phone number. Send me a song that says, hey, go buy this brand. A rap song from a popular artist like a Drake or a Lil Wayne or whoever is hot, the Baby. hey, you should be doing this. Hey, you should be, because we all know, like, music moves the heart. That's why what he does is going to change the world. Art moves because people can visualize that, right? Like, that is the beat of your community. So when I still listen to, I was born in the 80s, but I still listen to some of those, you know, Al Green, like those feel good stuff, the Aretha Franklin, because that had passion. So now, like, when I listen to it, like when I hear my wife, like, say we argue and I listen to the songs that she listens to, I'm like, oh, this ain't about the work, because you know, this ain't about the work, because I know the beat of the music, if that makes sense. And so what I'm saying is, we have to start charging those who have platforms a lot bigger than ours, the ones that's putting out these messages and saying like, bro, why you ain't telling people to support your own? You telling them to get Gucci. Gucci don't look like you. Louis don't look like you.
Facts.
And so these kids, you know what they aim for? Let me get this Gucci.
Yeah.
Let me get this Gucci, big bro, because if I got this Gucci and you don't, you got that African dashiki, I'm better than you.
Yeah. Compared to the 90s and 80s rappers.
Yep.
Well, you had African American black colleges on that stuff.
HBCUs.
A lot of HBCUs. You had
anything
that.
represented the black culture.
Yep.
Even
Right.
if it was made by somebody white, they wore
They
it.
right.
You know what I mean? But it was to represent the black. It was letting you know that I was
wear all the time. Kalkana.
right. You know, it is like, you know, they was doing it because it was like, listen, we're acknowledging the fact that we do have these things in our community, and at that time it was important to see my brother, my cousin, my homie, my sister, my whoever doing something that could represent the culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In our culture, we have let hip hop change, or we have let hip hop direct the way we take our culture. Now, some of other music do it too. I'm not just knocking hip hop, because I'm a hip hop fan. But I'm saying within the music that I listen to, I do hear it. You know what I mean? And it's not the best thing. You know what I mean? No, it's not the best thing. But we gotta understand, man, that, you know, times is gonna continue to change. And, you know, like I asked one of the kids I know, I was asking about the Tekashi 6ix9ine joint. They was like, man, I'm not even in the streets.
Right.
So to have street cred, I like what yo do.
Yeah.
It don't matter. So him being a snitch or whatever the case may be, it don't matter to them. They like what they like, man.
Yeah.
So that's what it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? We just gotta break the dynamic. We gotta change the dynamics, man.
I'm gonna tell people real talk, man. Turn your radios off, because the truth is, a kid can hear a song once, and then the next time it come on, they know it. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So turn your music off, because we start listening to some of these older folks who've been through it, who've been through the struggles, and seek understanding.
Not just that though. You got a lot of other music cultures that they give off a lot. So expand your listening period, not just in the past, but amongst your community as well as amongst your genres. You know what I mean? Your age group. And man, listen, I appreciate all of y'all, man, for coming on here, giving us y'all time, man, you know, and giving us the input and letting the community see, and let my Cigar Told family see, you know, all that we think about, man, because as black men in the community who's all on a positive stance at some point, you know what I mean, it's great to see. So I like to salute each and every one of y'all.
No doubt, bro.
You know what I mean? Into greatness, man. And from me and my Cigar Toads family, we thank y'all. And to my not a problem, man. And to my Cigar Toads family out there, again, I'm smoking on the Kingsman right here. It's a Dominican Maduro. It's a hand rolled Dominican Maduro. What length was it?
7x7x50.
It was a 7x50, and it's a good stick. It's my man Mo's stick. I'm gonna let him tell you about the rest of his brand or whatever, and what else he got to offer. Is it anybody else that want to expound on anything that y'all have, man, that y'all want the community to know about, something that y'all part of, anything that y'all want them to have to know about y'all in particular? Let them know right now, man. We can start with you, Warrior. Something you want to let them know? Anything about you, your shop, what you do, whatever?
Well, I have a mechanic shop. Me and my buddy been running for 12 years. Fix cars, we get you in and out. We ain't trying to keep your cars. We look out for you on the labor price. Now, you can't respect it, go to Firestone. I tell them that all day. Go to Firestone, give them that $1,100, $1,200 that they just set up there and gave you something I probably only charge you $200, $300 for.
I gotta get in contact with you.
So anybody need any type of work, holler at me. We there, 7 days a week. That's right, we don't take breaks. 2219 Kirk Avenue. If anybody know the very famous Whit Nickel Bar, I'm right next to there. I'm 2219 Kirk Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland 21218 in the alley.
Yes, sir. Hey, well, thank you guys so much for tuning in and joining. We had some rich conversation. I definitely appreciate you guys. And you guys are my brothers. I just wanted you guys to know that. Again, so my passion is youth development, Mentoring Mentors Inc. You can Google it, you can search it, you can type my name in, Alfonso Mayo. You can follow me on all social media platforms, Mentoring-Mentors. And again, we teach intergenerational near-to-peer model, which essentially just mean we create disciples. If you look at it, we allow our youth to lead by building positive relationships. I don't think I'm going to do... I'm not going to jump ship. I'm going to stay that focused because I know what we're doing is we're giving them relationship building skills early, as early as 6th grade. And sometimes I feel like that's a little too late, right? But we love on our kids. Right now we're working out the Windsor Hill community. We have our online platform, so please visit us at www.mentoring-mentors.org. Sign your kid up for summer learning. We're going to keep doing Zoom just to be safe. I want to make sure that they're protected, but during the school year, man, we have a lot of activities, a lot of one-on-one, a lot of group sessions, and this year we have our first high school graduating cohort that will be mentor apprentice, and so we're ready to raise those young leaders and allow them to lead in the community. So,
My man.
Bro, it's hard to follow that up. Nah, man, I'm just I'm glad to be here, man. I appreciate the platform. Definitely, man. It's great to be in discussion with African American brothers, like minds, like spirits. So that's a good thing, man. I want to see this continue. Again, my organization, Beyond the Natural Foundation, I want to share that we have a summer camp that's going forth this summer, and it's for any parent in Baltimore City that lost their job due to COVID-19, they got furloughed or had a 50% reduction in work hours. It's a free tuition-free summer camp opportunity for kids in grades 2nd grade through 7th grade. The camp is located at Still Meadow Community Fellowship Church in Southwest Baltimore. You can find out and you can register to the camp online at www.beyondthenatural.org. Again, it's a free resource. It's something to help us all rebound from the different setbacks caused by this pandemic and hopefully move our community of Baltimore forward. So, yeah, that's it.
Mo?
I want to definitely thank everybody for having me be on the panel. I definitely commend you gentlemen, what you're doing, and this goes beyond cigars. If you ever need any volunteers to come out and help out and engage in what you guys are doing, I'm all for it. So definitely please reach out because I don't want this to stop here.
Right.
We gotta continue to bring the message and do what we can. We're not gonna be able to reach everybody, but it's one person at a time.
Each one reach one.
Yep, that's it. My brand is the Kingsman Cigar. Right now I have a Facebook, Instagram page. It's called the Kingsman Lounge. Pretty much I'm trying to revamp the website to have stuff online so people can order.
All you website revampers out there, you heard them. Get at them.
Pretty much my business line is 240-670-0170. You can always reach out, text me, call, or even hit me up on Facebook and Instagram page. I'm open to doing any type of events, barbecues in the park, birthdays, weddings. Just reach out. My prices are very reasonable. We can sit down and talk about that. But right now I came in and smoking a Dominican Maduro. It's mixed with a little Mexican San Andreas. All the cigars are aged 7 years. I have some in the bag here. Let's see. I have this is Nicaraguan Habana, Nicaraguan and Costa Rican long filler. This is Ecuadorian Connecticut. I also have other bread. I don't have any in stock right now, but I have 2 Honduran Indonesian cigars, and I have a barber pole. That's Connecticut and Dominican mixed, so you get the earthy tones and the flavors of both combined. So it's a very good cigar that goes with wine. But I'm just here to continue, first and foremost, starting this wave and moving it forward. Yes, I'm a business owner. I have my own brand, but it's bigger than that. I want to be able to, wherever I can, help in the community, help people, teach people. We as African Americans got to, make sure we work on getting our credit, buying property, long-term goals. Not just dumping it into cars and jewelry and shoes and all of that. All that is nice, long as you can afford it, long as you're living within your means. But the best thing is to have some property, to have some stuff to pass on that can grow equity for you. That's very, very, very important. And not enough of our young people know that. The first thing they want to do is go out and get this type of car, and that's nice. Like I said, I don't knock that because I'm a car guy. I love cars to death. But you got to make sure that you can get what you can afford, and you got to, when you buy something, you got to make sure you can maintain that. You got to make sure you have the job straight. Right. Everybody got to keep their priorities straight. But once again, I just want to thank you guys for allowing me here, allowing me to be able to spread my point of view and share my message. And anybody need anything, just look me up. Once again, the number is 240-670-0170. Instagram is the Kingsman Lounge. Thank you.
Already. Thank you, man.
Hey, thankful. Thank you for having me here. It was much love to each of you brothers and everything you're doing, especially the fathers. Very powerful. Man, it's just a spreading of love to you guys. I'm thankful to be here. It was a powerful conversation. LTYC Arts. Follow us on social media. Our branded wear, Artist Life, branded wear. We're doing church to build development opportunities to buy supplies for our young people in the programs. Thank you guys for all of your support. Shout out again to Cigar Toads for having us here. And keep spreading love, keep spreading peace and joy, and doing your best. LTYC Arts on all social media platforms, ltyc.net.
Thank you, man. Again, man, I want to thank each and every one of y'all, man, for joining our platform, man, and bringing us y'all information, man, and bringing y'all input to the platform. I hope every one of y'all out there enjoyed the show, man. I rate cigars, man, on a 4-point rating. You know what I mean? The construction, the burn, the draw, and the taste. And right now, my man, Mo, not just because he's my man, but he got a 4-star from me, bruh. And I need 2 more of them joints you got in that bag, all right?
I got you.
Man. So for everybody else, man, y'all stay tuned, man. Go back, let everybody know, check us out on here, man. If y'all got something out of this, man, I hope y'all did. And y'all want me to get hit in the head by the microphone. Listen, that's twice a day, so that's telling me something. It's time for us to get the heck out of here. You know what I mean? I already know what it is. So to all my cigar toes out there, I salute to y'all. Y'all have a good day and smoke easy, baby.
Peace.
Thanks again, man, for all of y'all, man.